You know you should feel motivated. You know you should be doing the task. You know you should be going to the gym. You know you should feel that sense of drive and energy and enthusiasm, but you just don't. It feels lazy. It feels like a drag. It feels like a burden. It feels like an obligation, a duty. You just don't want to do it. Now, I know the state is horrible, but the good news is that you don't have to live in the state. Because as a clinical psychologist, I've worked with many people who are struggling with this exact issue, and it's my job to help them get out of that state so that they can finally re-engage with life, feel a sense of enthusiasm, a sense of drive, and do what they know is important so that they can do what they know will actually pull themselves in the long term out of that situation. That is what I do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 evidence-based principles that are going to allow you to feel more motivated. These are psychologically validated principles, so they work. They work. The science is in, the data is in. These are 3 principles that drive us to feel motivated. So if you want to feel a bit more motivated to engage in any task, then this is the video for you. And stick around until the end, because at the end I'm going to tell you how to access a free gift that I've created to you if you want to get very practical and very hands-on and apply this in your life step by step. So I've created a bit of a free resource to help you do that. But stick around to the end so that I can tell you a bit about that. So let's get into it. These are the 3 principles. The 3 principles of self-determination theory that motivate us. Self-determination theory is a psychological theory that's probably, I think, the biggest motivational theory in the world at the moment. It's one of the most well-established theories around what actually motivates us. And in this theory, it's stated that humans have 3 psychological needs. Just like we have physical needs, like the need to drink water, to eat food, to sleep, and so on. Just like we have physical needs to survive and thrive in the world, we also have psychological needs. And this theory thinks that we have just 3 of them. But the good news here is that once you know what these 3 psychological needs are, then you can help fulfill those 3 psychological needs in your life. And once you fulfill those 3 psychological needs, you will feel more motivated. That's how it works, according to this theory and according to the tons of research that's been done in this theory. So here are the 3 psychological needs that we have that can help boost your motivation if they're fulfilled. The first is autonomy. Now, autonomy is the need to feel like you're in control of your life. It's the opposite of feeling like you have to do something because someone else says so. It's the opposite of feeling controlled by someone else. Autonomy is, I agree with what I'm doing here in this moment. I agree with what my behavior is, my thinking, and what I'm spending my time on. That's autonomy. It's not entirely a sense of freedom, because sometimes we can have a sense of total freedom, but we still don't agree with what we're using that freedom for. Sometimes when we have total freedom, we do things that we don't feel is in line with what we want. So we don't condone it. We don't agree with our own behavior. Autonomy is different. Autonomy is when you do agree with it, when you put the stamp of approval on your own actions. So autonomy is our need, our first need that we need to fulfill to feel motivated to engage in a task. We don't feel motivated to engage in tasks that we don't feel we can do autonomously. The second is the need for competence, the need to feel like you're capable, like you have a sense of ability to be able to engage in the environment that you're currently dealing with. That's what competence is. The opposite of this is people who lack confidence, people who lack a feeling that they are capable, that they can do what's required of them. And just think about it in your own life. If you've ever been in a situation where you felt like you weren't competent in something, then you didn't feel as motivated to engage in that thing. That is why the second psychological need is competence, because when you feel competent, you feel like you can engage in something. And then the third need is relatedness. Relatedness is basically the need to have close, affectionate relationships and to feel like you matter, to feel like your presence in a social group is meaningful. This need is a bit more of an outlier because most people don't think about the social aspect that boosts our motivation, but it does. When we feel like we're in a group, we do feel more motivated. Now, those are the 3 needs. And the ultimate opportunity for you would be to use all 3 of these psychological needs to learn how to fulfill them related to a specific task so that that specific task becomes more motivating. For example, I remember when I was on a health journey. I wanted to gym, I wanted to be more physically active. Initially, it was a bit difficult to get myself to the gym in the mornings, but then I realized that I didn't actually enjoy what I was doing at the gym. I was basically telling myself I should run on a treadmill for an hour, which I really don't enjoy. And then I started to incorporate exercises that I liked. I realized I liked picking up heavy weights and I liked doing cardio related to weight training. So then once I started doing that, I felt a bit more autonomous. I felt like I was in control. I wasn't just forced to do this thing that I don't agree with, that I don't sanction. So in that moment, I increased my autonomy, which is the first principle. Another way in which it helped me on my health journey was when I increased my competence, because initially I didn't quite feel the sense that I was improving at gym, because it's hard to track progress on a daily basis. You don't really notice those daily gains. But once I started to measure myself, to start to put measuring tape around my arms and to measure my waist circumference and things like that, I started to feel the progress and that sense of achievement, which boosted my motivation. And it made me more excited to work out because I could feel that forward movement. And in that way, I started to fulfill that second need, which is the need for competence. And then the third need of relatedness started to become satisfied when I started to gym with people whose company I really enjoy. Then I started to feel like I was in a group and I was part of a collective mission. And so we bounced our energy off each other, and that was quite motivating. I even looked at people who I admire, people who are elite athletes, and also felt a sense of relatedness with them because they're on this journey and they're doing it too. And so that left me with a feeling of motivation. It left me with a feeling of drive to engage with this and to get to their level. And I felt supported. I felt like I had a community. So this is a small example of how it increased my autonomy, competence, and relatedness, and how all of that led to a bit more of a feeling of, I feel motivated to do this. And the really cool part of fulfilling these three needs is that you don't just get the benefit of motivation. The self-determination theory has really grown over the last few decades, which has shown that you don't just boost motivation, you actually get a sense of well-being. Your health gets better. You start to feel all sorts of benefits, wellness, performance, productivity. All of these things come with meeting these psychological needs. So now at this stage, I want you to think about a task that you need to engage in that you currently don't feel that motivated to engage in. And you're going to use that task, you're going to keep that task in mind, and we're going to go through each one of these in a bit more detail. We're going to go through autonomy, we're going to go through competence, and we're going to go through relatedness. And as we're going through those three, I want you to think about how you can fulfill those psychological needs related to the task that you currently have in mind. So let's start with the first, autonomy. Autonomy, again, is the need to feel like you're in control of your decisions. It feels like you're in control of your behavior and of your life, and you sanction what you're doing. Now, to increase autonomy related to a task, I want you to think about how you can increase the degree of control that you have in that specific task. I want you to think about how you can give yourself more options, more choices within that activity that you're engaging in. For me at the gym, it was to engage in the exercises that I actually liked. But there are other examples, like a parent who asks a child what vegetables the child likes and then gives them more of those vegetables. So they're giving them options. They're not just saying, eat broccoli. They're saying, what do you like? Do you like kale? Do you like broccoli? Do you like cucumber? What is it that you like? And they're giving the child more choice so that they feel more motivated to engage in it. You need to do the same. So let's say, let's use an example here. Let's say that you need to study. Give yourself more opportunity in terms of, do I want to study in a big chunk or many little chunks? Do I want to study this chapter first or this chapter first? Do I want to study using mind maps or just reading through the content? Do I want to study in this environment or at a coffee shop? You're giving yourself many choices, which can increase the feeling of autonomy. It starts to fulfill that need that I'm in control. Even though I do have to study, I'm in control here. But another way to give yourself a bit of a sense of control is to connect to why you're engaging with this in the first place. It's to make it I want to, not I have to. Make it an I want to task, not an I have to task. So for example, with the studying, there's a reason you're studying, right? Why are you studying? What do you want to get out of this? How is it going to help you? How is it going to benefit your life? Why is this something that you might actively choose? Just by asking yourself that question, you're going to immediately come up with things in your mind that are going to allow you to reconnect with the reason that you started this, which puts you in the driver's seat. It doesn't make you this passive victim of having to study. It makes you the active chooser of engaging with this material because of what it could benefit for you and your life. Now that's how you fulfill the first need, autonomy. The second is competence. Competence, again, is the need to feel like you're effective in dealing with your environment. You want to feel capable. That is what helps us feel motivated. You want to feel like, I can do this. That is competence. Competence is really, really, really important to feeling motivated and to feeling a sense of wellness while engaging in tasks and while pursuing your goals. So here, I want you to think about how you can start to feel more competent. And you can do that by, for example, acknowledging the progress that you've made thus far. A lot of us are engaging in activities and we're doing really well and we've made lots of progress, but that goes unacknowledged. Maybe because we're perfectionistic or we're a bit self-critical or we're not used to congratulating ourselves. Whatever the reason is, if there are things that you've accomplished, if there's progress that you've made in this endeavor, then you need to thank yourself for that and congratulate yourself for that, because that can increase your sense of competence. You're not being braggadocious, you're not being egotistical. You are simply allowing yourself to increase your competence, which is going to help you be more effective in engaging in the task. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to set clear and achievable goals that are challenging but not too challenging. So you want to break down your tasks into little chunks that you can manage. If you try to take on everything at once, you'll feel incompetent. For example, when I was doing my master's in clinical psychology, I was trying to engage with this dissertation, which is this huge project. You know, if you're writing a dissertation, you have to read so many research articles, you have to delve into the science, and then you have to read about how to actually write a dissertation and how to structure it. And there are just so many moving parts. So it felt very overwhelming. But I broke it down. I told myself I'm going to give myself about a month to just familiarize myself with the content in the field that I was researching. So I gave myself that time and I felt competent in doing that because I just had that clear and achievable, challenging but achievable task. So you can do that in your own life. If you're gymming, for example, don't go all out. You'll feel incompetent. A lot of people stop going to personal trainers, for example, because personal trainers go really, really hard on their clients. And then the client ends up feeling like they're so far behind. And they end up feeling incapable. They feel out of breath, exhausted, and they feel like they're still being pushed, but it's not quite good enough. Whereas if you start with just a 5-minute walk on a treadmill, it feels doable and you'll feel a sense of accomplishment and you'll want to go back because you feel that sense of competence. That, in other words, that psychological need is being fulfilled, and therefore you feel more motivation to engage in the task. So whatever task you're thinking about at the moment, just deliberate how you can be more competent at it, whether it's through setting achievable goals, whether it's through making the task a bit less complex and a bit less challenging, or whether it's acknowledging your progress and tracking your progress over time. Now, the third need is relatedness. The third psychological need that you're going to engage with is that need to feel socially connected, to feel like you're in close, affectionate relationships, to feel like you matter in a group setting. And you can do that in many ways related to a task. One way is to connect to how what you're doing will benefit other people. So you can ask yourself, with the task you're currently doing, how is what I'm doing meaningful to other people? How would it benefit a group? How would it benefit others in some way? So you're thinking about what you're giving back, and that helps relate you to other people. And that's the need of relatedness. Another way to do this related to a task is to ask yourself, how can I engage in this activity within a group setting? Because again, that allows you to relate to others. It allows you to connect to others. It allows you to find a bit of that sense of community. So if you're studying, for example, you join a studying group and you study with others. Oftentimes, people report that that's motivating. It's not just them sitting at home at their desk and trying to study. Suddenly, it's them with other people, and they're all working together, and that's a bit more motivating. But you can also fulfill the need for relatedness by asking for feedback from others or from mentors. That sometimes is enough to know that someone's looking out for me and can give me feedback and can help me along this journey. Those are some of the ways in which you can fulfill the psychological need of relatedness, which is about feeling like you're in close, affectionate relationships and you matter to a group. Now, those are the 3 needs in detail and how you can apply them to a specific task that you're engaging with. So I've gone through this a bit haphazardly, but if you want a bit of a system, if you want a complete system to help you engage with this theory, to help you implement this theory practically in your own life related to a specific task, if you have a specific task that you want to motivate yourself to do and you want to get very hands-on and very actionable, then I have a link in the description below. And that link in the description is going to take you to a free training where I walk you through 10 questions that you can answer. And after you answer those 10 questions, you'll have a complete plan to infuse these psychological needs into your life and thus motivate yourself to do this thing that you're not doing. I'll see you there.